Hey, what's up guys, Dizzy Nuts here, how you guys doing? Today we're doing shots with reflections, and I'm going to show you how I shot this. Okay, pretty cool, right? Now that shot obviously is taken during the nighttime, but don't discard being here during the day. You can still get an awesome amount of shots with reflections, like off of some of the stuff like I have behind me. I'm going to actually walk around and show you some of the stuff so you can see it. Okay, so when we talk about camera settings, there's a couple of ways that we can actually do these types of shots. I like to use aperture priority, because that way I can lock down the f-stop, because depending on what you're trying to capture, you want to be able to play with the f-stop. For example, on this shot, you'll see that the reflections are nice and sharp, but the stuff in the background is blurry. So for that case, what we're going to do is we're actually going to put the f-stop at a really low number, which means it's really wide. So that way, the only stuff that's really in focus is the stuff that I want to put, which is the reflection on the bottom. Or if you want to go the other way around, which is where you put the f-stop really small, which the number is higher, you'll get everything else in focus all the way to the back, including the reflections and Spaceship Earth in the back. Now as for ISO 100 all the way. Now if it's nighttime like this or sunset, crack out the tripod, because you want to be able to get the best quality out of your sensor and the photo will look awesome, okay? Now obviously when you're shooting something like this, which is like Spaceship Earth, which is pretty big, you will need a wide angle or something like a fisheye to be able to capture the whole Spaceship Earth. Of course, that is if what you're trying to shoot includes it. If what you want to do is just get a close-up with the reflection, then a regular lens should do. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the tips for taking these types of shots. If possible, bring a shutter release or set your timer camera to 2 seconds or 10 seconds. That way you don't have to worry about shaking the camera when taking these types of shots. Look for spots where there's not too many people. For example, when you walk in here to Epcot, you can actually take a left or to the right and hide yourself in between these towers here, which is the Leave a Legacy. There's awesome great spots here, which there's nobody in it, so try those spots. Okay, another tip that I like to give people is try to shoot from the bottom up, shoot low, because that way when you shoot stuff like this, it makes it look really big and it looks awesome. Now I'm going to show you a really cool reflection. Even though it doesn't have Spaceship Earth, you can actually get the monorail on it, which is really cool, which is this one. This is actually the second one when you're walking out on the right hand side. Now if you look closely, you can actually see the monorail right there. So that is an awesome shot. Now I'm going to wait here for the monorail, which is probably 15 minutes, the max time that we usually have to wait when you're waiting for the monorail. You know how that goes. And we should be able to get the monorail reflection here. And if we use our wide angle lens like this, and we get the monorail reflection here, and we get the monorail coming up, this is how that shot looks. So this is the one of the photo that I showed you guys earlier, and this is where I'm parked right now. You can see that I'm basically right on top of here to leave a legacy. Now don't do it too close over there, because what's going to happen is it's going to start cutting off the reflection of Spaceship Earth. So what I did, I walked back until I could get a full reflection on the image like this. Okay, here we go. Now as I mentioned earlier, I used aperture priority and I set my ISO to 100. So I'm locking at 100, and then using the exposure indicator is how I determine how long the shutter needs to be. Now as for equipment, I have the fisheye lens, and the reason for that is the fisheye lens is what lets me be able to get the reflection here really close, because if I have a regular lens, what's going to happen, it's going to look over the reflection and it won't come out as cool. Now as for the f-stop, I have this on f8 because I want to be able to get the reflection as well as the Spaceship Earth in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of the shots. Okay, so I've gone ahead and put on the regular lens so you guys can see the difference. So you can see that basically all the bottom part of the reflection is getting chopped off. So that's why I'm using the fisheye. Let me put with the ultra wide angle, see how it looks. Here's how the ultra wide angle looks. You can still see that it cuts off some of the reflection on the top of Spaceship Earth. So I guess fisheye is the best lens for this type of shot. Okay, for this shot, sometimes you have to improvise. Since there's two big lights here, I actually put my hat on top of one and my bag on top of the other. That way, I'm able to get this shot, which is where there's nothing bright on the bottom. Okay guys, so that's it here from Epcot. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video about reflections. Now make sure you come and check out the stuff either day or night. There's tons of other spots that you can do some really cool shots. Now if this is the first time watching any of these types of videos, my name is Disney Nuts and I do photography from inside the parks and stuff like this and how-to stuff and some of the photos that I post and how I take those shots as well. So if you like what you saw, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notified. And remember, try different things because that's what makes this photography fun. Until then guys, stay awesome.